It's Thursday night. I'm here. You're beautiful. That must mean it's time for GotBot Goes live. I hope everything is working as it should here. We're testing out a new setup. I hope the sound is okay. And I hope that the picture is better than it has been in the past. I'm still working on some stuff, so you're going to have to sort of bear with me. But fingers crossed that this works out better than it has in the past. Of course, as always, I'm going to defer to you guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if it's better and clearer than it has been in the past. I told you that through the summer we were going to have some kind of changes up and coming, somewhat subtle, but hopefully this is the start of something better and a better experience for you guys that come here as the show grows, of course, right? I'm just going to get things set up. Hope you guys are having a tremendous week. I am... I've hurt both of my big toes now. I think last week I was telling you. I'll tell you that story in a minute. I have a couple of news items that I need to rectify from last week. Shout out to Anthony from H&E Games, H&E Toys, H&E Everything. He has like 5 channels. I actually have to defer to him because he was good enough to tell me something that I thought was incorrect. You'll see when we get there. So shout out to him. He actually had the information correct. As I'm doing this, I will start the usual intro. Of course, I am your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share. Of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, let my baby, hit the notification bell. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links, all of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we have to offer to you through spring. I think now the merch store for that might actually be on my YouTube page, and like the banner stuff like below this. I think if everything's working the way it should be working. Of course, you can always hit the join button, become a channel member right here on YouTube. And speaking of which, I plan very soon to put up a like a sneak peek of episode 12 for patrons and channel members. I might do a different sneak peek for patrons and a different sneak peek for channel members, like different scenes for each one to make it totally exclusive. I also spent yesterday recording at my friend Cyril's house. He has helped us with a lot of things here on the channel over the years. He is going to be, or his collection, I should say, is going to be the focus of True Review 1000. I also go in more depth and actually have a bit of a like an interview and discussion with him as I'm looking at his pretty mammoth collection. That will be like the kind of full version will be for patrons and channel members. So there are things up and coming. There's a lot going on. Of course, I'm working away on episode 12. We're inching closer. We're down now to about 3,000 pictures left. We started with 15,000, and I'm not going to lie. From the end of last summer to this summer, I really didn't work on it. I just getting content for you guys, my regular job, the driving back and forth time, I just didn't have time to do it. So I'm really kind of trying to motor through it as best I can now. All right, let's see what you guys are saying before we kind of get going here. Let's see. Well, hold on, because I'm going to, while you guys are actually here, and I hear and see some of the feedback, I'm actually going to, and I was concerned, by the way, about the audio because I'm not using my usual microphone. It doesn't seem like it wants to work with the camera. I'm going to have to work on that some more. But let me just try a couple of things here with the lighting while I have you guys. And again, remember, this is going to be a bit of a work in progress. Hold on. Let's see if I can improve this. Bear with me. I don't know. Did that help at all? Like I said, I'm gonna have to do some more practice with this, but I wanted to really try and get it out there. Let's see. Hey, Big M, Marvelous Problem. Glad you're here. Paul says sounds good. Okay, because again, like I'm hearing it from my end, and I've done some tests earlier, but I don't know how it's coming across to you guys. Let's go down here. Caldeo is saying that it's let's see. He says the audio too quiet. Okay, and the lighting is darker. It is a bit darker, but hopefully it's sharper. Like I said, I'm going to have to work on the lighting a bit as well now, and I'll have to work on the settings on the camera, to be honest with you. Hey, Manitoba, will Earthspark have Trypticon and Metroplex in it? I don't think so, Bill. We're going to get to that, but I will say this. A question was asked if we will have more than deluxe class in Earthspark, and right now the answer is no. We could see Voyager and Leader, but right now they're focusing on deluxe. My guess is they're playing their cards hard close to their chest, so that if they want to expand into larger size classes later on, they can. But I think a lot of it will depend on how successful the actual series is. Right? Will it warrant a bigger size classes and a wider release? Time will tell, right? But right now, Bill, I wouldn't bet on it. If they're in there, I don't think that we're going to necessarily get iterations of them, but you never know. Right now, I wouldn't bet on it, at least for season 1. Let me put it to you that way. You probably hear a lot of motorcycles outside because our windows are open. It's finally cooling off here. And because it's finally cooling off, I am very happy to report that it's not as stifling, but we're trying to cool down the house as well. So I'm leaving the windows open. For some reason, there's been like 8 motorcycles that have gone past in the last 10 minutes or so. So I don't know what's up with that. Let's go down here a little bit. Hey, Warren. Hey, Mike. Things just get worse and worse. Listen, man, it never rains but it pours. Guys, some good vibes, man. Send some good vibes Mike's way. I'm not going to get into the details, but he's had kind of a string of unfortunate events lately. We all do. Me, I got 2 bum feet at the moment, right? Send some good vibes there. By the way, about my feet, last week, I think I told you that I woke up and like my foot was really hurting. I hit it off of the coffee table. I think I don't know if I broke a toe, bruised a bone, tore ligaments, something like that. Anyway, it has since bruised and it's started to get a bit better. I'm trying to rest it, but yesterday doing the stuff for review 1000, it got rough. It got real rough because I was on my feet too long. Now, that being said, I was walking Tessa and she's been really good. She knows I'm not moving as I normally move. And I happened to, this is going to sound stupid, fall off of the edge of my neighbor's driveway. It's a paved driveway. It's about 2 inches up from like the ground next to it. And I fell off it. Yes, I have fallen off of sidewalks before and torn ligaments in my ankles. I'm as clumsy as they get. Sports, man, was never my thing, right? So when I fell, of course, the ankle on the foot that's hurt, which is my right foot, twisted. Now, luckily, I don't have any injury from that, but I was afraid I would. I tried to catch myself on my left foot, but whatever happened with my sneakers, my left big toe went up under me and had all my weight go on it. So it's been a week. It's been a rough week, man. But my problems pale in comparison, right? Don't worry about me. I'll be okay. I'm going to heal. I'm a big boy. Let's see here. GotBot 5. I don't think I should be in 5K. I think that I apologize now if the picture's better because you're having to see me in all my glory, and I don't think that's a good thing. I do agree, though, that it does seem a little darker. I'm going to have to toy around with the lighting, and I will have to toy around with the actual settings on the camera a bit. So bear with me over the next couple of weeks. But I think overall, considering I haven't had much time to really explore too much with it yet, is the general consensus that this is generally better? That this is generally better than what we've had in the past? Yes? No? Let me know as I'm going down through here. Hey, Brian. Big M, if I didn't say hi to you already. Ultra Marcus, happy to see you here, buddy. Dragonfly, happy you're here, my man. As we go down here a bit. Just a dad who loves toys more than his kids do. I love that name. That's fantastic. I mean, I'm probably going to call you Just a Dad for short, but man, what a good name. What a good name. I love it, man. Will Earthrise have Fortress Map? I don't think Earthrise is going to have any Titans in it, certainly for the first season. I think the characters, for the most part, that we've seen so far will pretty much be the first season with a couple of, I'll say, like typical surprises. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. The new camera pretty bad. The lighting dark and the audio doesn't sound good. So Caldeo is saying that the entire experience is worse. Is that where we're to? Because I do need to know if it's that bad. Like, I'll get rid of it. I'll go back to what we had, right? Maximal 10, I'm home this week due to medical. Inflamed muscle tissue. Never fun, buddy. Never fun. Sovereign. Hey, Maximal 10. Yeah, it'll improve. My my left foot is kind of coming along. My right foot is still, it's a rough go. Let's see. I broke a toe before, man. That hurts. Hope you heal fast. Yeah, and like it's all like bruised up and stuff now. Like it's not fun. It's not fun. 1080p stream this time. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the actual goal, right? The other camera, like it said HD, but we all know how grainy it was. It was 720, right? It should be 1080. Hey, Grandiose. Is it Hold on. Grandiosa. I love that name too, man. Being rough, but now you're back with the show. What is the chances of seeing a Prowl in SS86 line? I think it's an interesting question that you ask that. But again, we'll get to it in just a little bit. I'm just trying to get caught up here, and then I'm going to go through the news notes, and then we'll kind of get into some of the more deeper news nitty gritty as quickly as we can, right? Better color definition. Okay, all right. Like I said, because like the white balance and that sort of stuff, like all of that, I got to work with on the camera. And you know what? Some of it is the actual lighting and the positioning of it, how bright I have it, right? Because it was set up for a different camera naturally. I also got to try and figure out how to get my actual mic to work, because right now the mic that's being used is not my computer mic, but it is the mic through the new webcam. And it's just because I couldn't get both of them working at once. So I'm going to have to fiddle with that a bit. The picture is much better than what we've seen in the past. Okay, good. Sharper for sure. Lot better, much better frame rates. I think it's 60 frames per minute. With the new camera, it was 30 before. So it's double the frame rate, right? Hope things get better for you, Mike. Yeah, see, Mike, everybody's sending their well wishes to you, my man. I think it's better than the other camera. Okay, thank you, Sovereign. Jay landed himself a Motor Master and he loves them. Stubby Trailer is as solid as a cinder block. Nice to know, though, because where the trailer becomes so many things, I, for one, have been very curious as to its like longevity, I guess, how good it can actually be. We'll see, right? Mine has not arrived. It's not shipped. But we're going to talk about that, too, because it's an interesting little note there, right? Looks good on your end, but it varies, I guess, with others. Plus, hope your foot gets better. And you and Starscream. It varies. Interesting. That I'm curious about. Crystal clear. Thanks, Razor Bear. As we go down here. You got Cosmos, yes, and Ultramarx. I'm not surprised. I heard that the UK in general had the Velocitron stuff come out. Now, mine has been stepped up. So has Anthony's, actually. Mine says, from our Walmart here in Canada, it says that the release date is September 26th, but my new delivery date is slated as August 4th. And I get an email every single day for my pre-order. saying August 4th. So I don't know if it'll come then, if it'll ship then, if nothing will happen then. I really have no idea, but it is stepped up. Trailer's broader, heavier than Skylinks. No exaggeration. That's a big claim. You know what I'm going to do, Jay, when I get the trailer? You know now I'm going to look at the mass of Skylinks and the mass of Motormaster, right? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe you're right. I'm not going to say it's not at this point. I'm replacing the Combiner Wars Motormaster Respectful Lady. That's fair. Hey, Vector. Have I seen the packaging of the new He-Man Anniversary 4-pack? I have not. Mattel is totally outdoing Hasbro in this. Mattel is outdoing Hasbro, period. Enough said, Vector. If you want to test if a ring light will work, Dollarama sells a USB ring. I have another ring light that I also sometimes use for reviews and stuff. Like I said, I'll toy with it over the next few weeks. Bear with me. If this is generally better, expect it to only get better as we keep going. Fair? Fair? I hope that's fair. Because, like, you know, here's the thing. When I was testing it today in the daylight, right? Really what I have to do is be able to test it in the dark. Like, it's not that it's dark here yet. It's summer. But this is a very overcast day, so it's dark-ish. And I really have to kind of get the proper setup where I'm to here in the dark. And that's going to take a little bit of time, right? Thank you, Albert. I saw it there, buddy. You're lucky to get the Cosmos because it's sold out everywhere. Yeah, and it's really weird because it went in and out of stock a few times on Walmart.ca. I got mine right away, but I still feel diverse over. I don't feel diverse. I don't have any connection to the character, so. Will DNA Design make ab extension piece for the trailer of Motormaster to make it longer? I wouldn't be shocked, Bill. I could totally see them doing that, to be honest with you. If not them, someone else. I could 100% see someone doing it. Will it happen? I don't know. But I could totally see how something would go. But then what do you do with the parts? That's the thing, right? I don't want it if it's just going to be a chunk that you lay aside. Nuts to that. DX9 has the perfect trailer for Menasor transformation. Yeah, DX9 is a good company. That I like DX9. I knew Cosmos was going to be one per case and was going to pre-order him, but Walmart dropped the pre-orders way early when they were supposed to. Same here. Pictures better, but a bit darker. Yes, and it is. You're right. Even I'm looking at it and saying, yeah, that's darker. So I'm going to have to work on like my lighting and my lighting position and stuff, because obviously the other camera, which is the camera in the laptop, was picking up the light better or whatever, right? Plus, here's the thing: I have to get it lighter for everything around me, but I'm so incredibly pale that I almost glow, so I can't really have the light turned directly on me, because if I do, it's going to be too much for you guys. I'm not going to lie; it'll be too much for you guys. So I need to work to find that healthy balance, but that's fair. Hey, 638. Oh, it's Devlin. It's Devlin. You know what? It makes a difference seeing things up close. Jay, your pics of Motormaster encouraged me to get his own. There you go. So there you go. Jay, you never know the effect you have on someone, right? GotBot just said he's pale. Total nerd evidence. Look, you know what's funny? You know what's really funny? Earlier this week, somebody left a comment on one of my videos that said, "You look like the teenage nerd that's in all the 90s movies, but grown up." And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I am. I'm the teenage nerd grown up from the 90s. 100%. You nailed it. That's 100% accurate. Sadly, I wasn't in movies and don't have a bunch of money from it. But, you know, such is life, right? All right, let's get into it. I'm going to do the quick news and notes first, because we're already 20 minutes in and I haven't done jack yet. And I do want to spend some time on some stuff. We have a few things here. Most of it is old. And it's a little bit of a wacky unboxing this week. One new thing, but most of it is old. I think you're going to have fun with this one. All right, let's get into it. So the very first thing to note is a couple of retractions that I need to make from last week. I dug deeper to get what the actual facts were, because I was misunderstanding them. I'm not even going to say I was misled. I was going to say I misunderstood a couple things. So very first thing, Cosmos, I said, was a partial retool of the buzzworthy Bumblebee. Apparently, the engineering that was employed for Cosmos borrowed from that Bumblebee, and there was early talk of it being a partial remold. It did end up being a completely new mold, apparently, but borrowing some of the engineering techniques and tricks from the Origins Bumblebee. I was misunderstood. I thought it was a partial. A partial is where they began. It is a new mold. Apparently, it borrows some engineering ideas, whatever that means. I don't know exactly what that means. Apparently, it borrows some engineering ideas from the Origins Bumblebee. That's good enough for me. I love the Origins Bumblebee. If the Cosmos can be half as good, cool. I mean, so I wanted to point that out. Also, although I don't know how much it'll affect many people on here, I was part of a discussion on cybertron.ca regarding the Voyager case assortment, not the deluxe, the Voyager case assortment for Velocitron. And I had heard that the way it was going to be done, because it came up because a lot of people said, is Override going to be short packed? And what I had heard from a couple of Walmart sources is that the way the Voyager cases were going to be done was actually going to be a case of 3 Holler and a case of 3 Override. I've heard this from 2 different Walmart sources. However, apparently Robot Kingdom says that the case breakdown is going to be 2 Override to 1 Holler. It is still 3. So I don't know if the sources that told me 3 and 3 were incorrect, or if the case assortment specifically going to Walmart will be different. It might be that they're different. Possible. You look at, for example, the deluxes, and we know that Cosmos, for some asinine reason, was the one short packed. I mean, he is going to be the most in demand one of all of those. And that's the one they short pack. Like, if you were going to short pack something that's not going to sell. What a bad business decision. Then it was really weird. Word I hear, and I mentioned it last week, is that Walmart was supposed to make the orders live at 2 p.m. Eastern. But what they did by mistake, at least here in Canada, I can't speak for the United States, is they made the pre-orders live at 2 a.m. Eastern. So when I woke up in the morning, luckily, this is one time that my early time zone actually worked in my favor. I got up, and there were some people who had ordered like overnight or early in the morning, and I went and I looked, and I was like, holy moly. I was like, do I want to do a pre-order online from Walmart for this or just wait? I don't know. And then I heard people say, well, the Cosmos will be short packed. So I went back maybe an hour and a half or so later, and Cosmos was still there. So I said, you know what? I'm going to nab them. Why not? And a couple of other things, right? And by around noon my time, that's it. Our Walmart was sold out. But he's after coming back in stock twice since then and selling out each time again. Now, here's the interesting thing. When I look at our counterparts in the United States, here's what I've heard. I've heard that the breakdown is that whatever Pulse got, that's it. Don't try through Pulse to get Cosmos. Not going to happen, because the breakdown is that Walmart is getting 85% and Pulse is getting 15% of Velocitron. So what they got, apparently they sold their 15%. Take that for what you will. Word is that Walmart can do another run if they want, but there won't be more coming to Pulse. I guess unless Walmart says, hey, Pulse, you can have some. So take that for what you will. If you secured your pre-order, be happy, I guess. If you didn't, you might have to go like overseas for it, right? I mean, it is what it is. Or wait till it comes out in store. I honestly still think that all of this is going to be plentiful in store. That brings me to retraction number 2. I heard here in Canada, or maybe retraction number 3, I heard here in Canada that Override was going to be an in-store exclusive for Walmart. That's why when they put up all the Velocitron pre-orders, she wasn't there. Now, here's where things get very interesting, and I think we should all pay attention to this. They have since put up a listing for her. However, apparently nobody has a pre-order. She immediately went up and was immediately out of stock. Of course, she's a Voyager, just like Holler. Now, here's where I think it gets really interesting. Holler is retailing here for $47.99. She is retailing for $44.99. Still a Voyager, but retailing a little bit less because it looks like she's going to be a bit smaller than Holler. Which got me thinking. I've complained a lot over the last 3 years about price gouging. What if somebody has actually heard that? What if somebody's saying, you know what? We kind of have a range within size classes now. Like there's a range within Deluxe, there's a range within Voyager, and there's a range within Leader, and so on and so forth. What if there's a price range within each? Like, let's say Deluxe, and I'm going to use Canadian prices here. Let's say Deluxe had a price range where a smaller thing with less mass retailed for $25, and something bigger with more mass and more paint and more love retailed for $32. A range there. What if the Voyagers retailed, a small Voyager, I'll even say Hot Rod, because you know how much I've complained about that thing. Let's say that retailed for $38 Canadian. And something that is much bigger, like G-Axis, for example, or Scourge or Cyclonus, would retail for $45. What if Leader class ranged from 69 to 79? You know what I mean? Like, I think that could alleviate some of the disdain that people are feeling if they knew, like, okay, this is a bigger offering in this price range. This is a smaller offering in this price range. I don't know if they'll do it. I think the pricing is interesting. I think the speculation of an interesting business model could be something that would be worth discussion. I'm not in those circles, but man, would I love to be. So there's a whole bunch of retractions and some news around Velocitron. What else do we have here? TransArt putting out a Transmetals Black Arachnia. She's going to stand 5.7 inches, 14.5 centimeters. I'm going to tell you now, you all know I detest the Kingdom Black Arachnia. When I see a pre-order for this, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it because the other TransArt offering that I have is Ravage, and I adore that Ravage, the Beast Wars Ravage. I adore it. I think that thing is fantastic. So I might be in for this as my Black Arachnia. I might be in for it. We'll have to see as time goes on, but I'm very impressed by it. Speaking of things that third party is doing that could kind of fall a little bit more, at least in mainline, let's talk about S.N.D. SND, right? We know them from a number of upgrade kits a few years ago. They do some pretty like invasive upgrade kits. Well, they are doing an IDW version of Optimus Prime. Now, I'm not an IDW fan, as you guys know. However, this Optimus Prime looks really good, and he scales with mainline stuff really well. I would venture to say that this Optimus Prime is an amped up Voyager, right? He's about Voyager size, but I can guarantee you the engineering and the parts kind of bonkers. If you want to know what I'm talking about, they've basically done an online tutorial of their instructions for the transformation, both to truck mode and back from truck mode, where they highlight each piece and move it via stop motion. If you want to see it, check out tformers.com. It is posted there. I think it's one of like their feature stories or something. But Input and I were actually talking about this. What blows me away is here is a third-party company that is looking and saying, look, other third-party companies are putting themselves in the MP notch or putting themselves in the Legends notch. The only thing that's even teetering on something that could kind of scale with mainline is MMC. I think they are on to something here. If you're an IDW fan, this might just be the Optimus for you. I'll say this, I think the truck looks great. The robot is a little too stylized for my taste, but I will say that I think the head sculpt might be the absolute best Optimus Prime head sculpt for a mainline offering that I've ever seen. It's a really, really good head sculpt. So I give credit where credit is due. I think that's a really interesting project to continue to watch. I need a drink. ACG Honk Kong is going on. Flame Toys showing off a number of their sets. Like we've seen the Jazz, I've talked about it here. We've seen their Victory Saber, which looks great, but it has terrible stability. I talked last week about their upcoming Nemesis Prime. Really, the sets we've seen are all from their Kuro Kara Kuri line. But here's what really got my attention. A G1 Megatron was shown, which I thought was really neat. A Beast Wars Megatron was shown, which looked bigger than the G1 Megatron. And get this. The other thing a grayscale was showing off, it was the answer maybe a month ago to one of our trivia questions right here on the channel, Glithor. They are doing Glithor. If you don't know who Glithor is, Glithor, look it up. It is basically a concoction by the Quintessons that's an amalgamation of, you know, the essence of Optimus Prime and the essence of Megatron put into one. It's bonkers. And the grayscale looks just as gloriously bonkers. I don't think Glithor ever had an alt mode. So this might be an example of something from Flame Toys that could be wholly unique if they can pull it off with stability. And that's a big if. We also saw there at the Hasbro booth all of the SDCC stuff that we saw, like the new Metroplex and the Transmetals 2 Megatron and all the Velocitron stuff and the MPM Blackout and all of the Target exclusive stuff like the Dinobot and the Pterosaur and all of that sort of stuff. The two most interesting things we saw there was the new Metroplex kind of next to the Generations original Metroplex. I thought that was really cool. They're pretty close to the same height. I mean, very comparable. I saw a review, if you can call it that, of Metroplex earlier the week. A lot of us saw it and said that the guy's a dope. He had no idea what he was talking about. He thought it was a G1 Metroplex and said it's, you know, it's not the Metroplex you remember. Like, it's like he had no sense that it was Cybertron Metroplex, which is a completely different character. The articulation on this new Metroplex is insanely good. Even, you know, we all know the limitations of the Generations Metroplex. He's my Metroplex, and I think he's glorious. I'm not in for the new one, but if you are, or you've been on the fence, the robot mode has articulation second to none. I mean, the dude can bend over and touch his toes, even with the slight knee bend that most of us would have. You can see the curvature of the way the ab crunch works, and it's very organic going up over his back. I give credit where credit is due. I really do. Maybe it is worth the price hike. You know, it's not for me, but I will say this. If you're a Unicron Trilogy fan, if you want to see more, if you want the future of the mainline to move in that direction, if that's really where your love is, then, man, I'm going to say it now. My advice to you is that you support this Armada Starscream. You support this first Titan, because they were asked about Titans. They said Titans will continue. And they said the next 5 years worth of Titans could all be like Unicron Trilogy stuff. And they even listed off names. It's not for me, but it doesn't need to be for me. I'm happy that Unicron Trilogy fans are getting theirs. I'm due for a break, man. And I'm happy that you guys are getting it. I am ecstatic. I just hope that you, if you truly love it, that you're going to support it. I get it. Maybe someone like me is old and crusty. I talk about the pricing and stuff. Maybe my time, man, has sort of come with the majority. But for anybody who has been waiting, you know, I think it's what, 17, 18, 19 years now for Unicron Trilogy stuff, man, I think you got to support it. And if you don't, that's cool. Do it. But then don't complain in the future when they go back to G1, because G1 has proven that they will support it. Beast Wars, the new stuff, I think has been hit or miss. I think it's been successful. I don't know if it's been successful to the degree that they necessarily wanted. Maybe. But I know there have been some complaints, right? Like, I don't think that the new Rhinox is generally considered a success. I don't think that the new Cheetor is generally considered a success, though there are many that have been, right? And I'm in for more Beast Wars, no doubt. So, I mean, advice, take it as advice, I guess. We also saw the MP Skyfire next to the Siege Skyfire or Jetfire, whatever name you want to use. And, like, I get it. The MP obviously has like angles on the chest that's a little more right. The thicker white line on the fast pack that's, you know, on his back. It's a bit thinner and a little more sleek. I get it. In terms of size, the MP is probably 2 inches bigger, maybe. I'm happy with the Siege. I think that it ticks all the boxes for me. But I think the MP looks real good. I think it looks infinitely better than Phoenix personally, but we all know what I think of Phoenix, don't we? Let's get rid of all of that. Oh, we also saw on display there the 3.0, I think it is, M Deluxe Megatron. Now remember, the M Deluxe are about 5 inches. They're small. Boy, oh boy, silver, everything. A beautiful fusion cannon on his arm. It's gorgeous. I've held the Bumblebee. That's it. But if the Megatron is built to the quality of the Bumblebee, now they're small. I mean, 5 inches, not big, right? They're small. But we're looking at dozens upon dozens of points of articulation, a ton of die cast, a ton of heft, a ton of paint, a ton of love. It really is. So very special. Again, if you want to see the ACG stuff, check out tformers.com. It's all right there for you. TF Nation. To our friends in the UK, TF Nation, baby. Simon Furman is going to be there, and James Roberts is going to be there. I'm not a fan of his writing at all. I don't particularly think he's a good storyteller. I know he's considered legendary. He's been at this 10 years and blah, blah, blah. It's just, he's not for me. Nothing he does is for me. But to each their own. I know he's a big star in the community, so kind of a interesting get for TF Nation. Skullgrin, we kind of saw his alt mode via the back of the box, and it looks like it's a pretty honkin' chunkin' tank. I think the tank mode of the original Deluxe was better. Some people said, oh, so you're going to flip down the toes and put the arms behind and call it a tank. Yeah, probably. I mean, I keep saying, I don't know why anybody is surprised by this. I keep saying, all of the advancements that we saw at the beginning of War for Cybertron, don't expect them to last for long, because the penny pinchers and the corporate man, they're going to come in and they're going to say, we can cut this, we can cut that. The fans will never know. They're used to this new price now. They're used to this hike. They're not going to mind if we cut it now because they're used to it. That's how business works for Hasbro anyway. I still think that this looks great in robot mode. I'm okay with it being a chunky boy tank. I'm sure it's going to be a Cybertronian tank, right? We just done the top 10 Cybertronian modes. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a great looking Skullgrin, but I know that some people do. DK3 Breaker, the blue Trailbreaker. When I got the original black Trailbreaker, I didn't mind that the windows on the back section were black. I was like, they'd probably be tinted anyway. It's all black. Luckily, since then, I've actually put the toy hacks on it, and I showed that off. Then I see Breaker, and I'm like, oh, the whole back section there is all blue, and it's all molded in, but it's all blue, and it's not broken up with anything. I really think, if nothing else, they should have used Allspark blue on the windows or something. I think that I'm just going to say, I think that the DK3 Breaker looks awful because of the blue. And it only looks awful because the windows aren't painted. Robot mode looks fine, but the windows on that back, the camper van, the camper section part, I guess, looks awful just being molded and not colored in. Really, really bad. They should have done something about it. My take on it anyway. I don't think it's bad. I mean, if you got a pre-order in, like, get it. I don't think it's a bad offering. It's just when you get it, like, paint the windows or something, man. Do something with them. Paint them black or something. I don't know. Do something with them. Flame War. Shatterglass Flame War went up on Pulse. Apparently, that Deluxe with a Battlemaster was $41.99 US. That's insane. It's a tiny bike mold. I don't have the bike mold, but I cannot see how it would be that expensive, along with, what, a $5 Battlemaster? I'm sorry. Like, I love Shattered Glass and stuff, but when I heard it, I was like, that must be a Canadian price, because that's what a Deluxe basically is here. Welcome to Canadian pricing. And then somebody said, no, it's on Pulse, so it's $41.99 US. I'm like, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Yeah, no thank you. What else do we have here? Micro Machines showed their Optimus Prime playset. It comes with a Trax and maybe a couple of other vehicles. Neat, I guess, if you're a Micro Machines fan. Speaking of Micro Machines, we also saw more images of their Age of Extinction line, which includes 3 versions of Bumblebee. Like, come on. Optimus Prime, Galvatron, Drift, Stinger, who looks really good, Lockdown, who looks really good, and Crosshairs, who I thought looked really good. And their Dark of the Moon line, which has Sentinel, which I thought was a nice one. Sentinel's a nice addition. Megatron, which is an interesting addition. Sideswipe, Optimus, Ratchet, and Leadfoot. I thought Leadfoot turned out really, really, really well. What else did we see here? What else did we see? Coming out of SDCC. If you see me looking down, not up here, I'm actually looking at our time and stuff. And I'm going to check in with you guys shortly. SDCC, we saw the Victory Saber box. The whole sleeve is reversible, so it looks like the Japanese artwork and stuff, apparently, like the way those boxes used to look. The other one, I think, is like a reflective grid, and it has the artwork on it from Guido Guidi. So neat, I guess. The box, it's so weird. I look at the box, I'm like, wow, there's a lot of love put in that box. I mean, I'm going to recycle it, so you could have just given me a brown mailer and saved that and reduced all of that price. Instead of being $179.99, you could have put it in a solid brown box and mailed it to me for $139.99, $149.99, whatever. It's neat, but, and I guess it's cool if you're a mint and box collector, which I don't understand. I mean, why are you buying stuff and leaving it in a box? I mean, to me, I don't know. To me, I've always been like, why leave it in a box, man? That's just denying the toy what it was built to be, what it was built to do, right? I mean, to each their own. It's just, for me, I wish that there was an option where, hey, if you want to spend $179.99, you can get the box. If you want to spend $149.99, you can just get it in like a brown box. I would have done the $149 because I don't care about a box. Nevertheless, I guess it's cool that they put a lot of love into it, I suppose. Can you tell I don't care about the box? It's what it is. I'm going to save that because that's the Earthspark stuff I want to talk about. We already got that done. Earthrise Ironhide listing for Studio Series. Earthrise, saying Earthrise Ironhide. Take that back. Studio Series 86 Voyager Ironhide listing. Pre-order up on Amazon France. Whoa, I'm stumbling over my words. Let's try that again. Studio Series 86 Voyager class Ironhide pre-order up on Amazon. I keep saying Hasbro. Amazon France. Now, I think it's very interesting. The question was asked earlier. Do you think that they'll do a Studio Series Prowl? They might. They might very well do a Studio Series Prowl. I could believe it. That being said, they were asked the question of kind of something that they'd like to see done, and it came up in Studio Series 86, and it came up that they'd like to do Optimus Prime. Even though we have Earthrise, we have Siege and everything else, they would still like to do an Optimus Prime. If they would like to do an Optimus Prime, why not go the extra mile and do a Prowl? The only thing with it that I think is, if you're going to do a Prowl or an Ironhide or an Optimus Prime, I think you should definitely include a battle damaged alternate head, right? Like, you should definitely have with Prowl an alternate head where his eyes have changed color, and maybe you could even have the smoke effect coming out of his mouth. With Ironhide, I don't know what his head looked like after a fusion cannon blast, but give him a damaged head reminiscent of what it would be like after getting blasted with a fusion cannon, right? So I think that a Prowl could happen. If they're doing Ironhide and they'd like to do Optimus, why not do a Prowl, right? Plus, if you're taking more risks in the Legacy line by bringing in like other parts of the fiction and whatnot, G1 is your bread and butter and your money, right? That's been proven time and time and time again. That's why they keep doing it. So why not do a Prowl there? I don't know if I would need it. I don't know if I need the Ironhide. None of this has been shown yet. No, the Prowl it's just me speculating. There's nothing. They have said zero about it. There is no Prowl in the works that I know of. But there is a pre-order up for Ironhide, so he is in the works. And apparently the release date for him is October 31st of this year, so Halloween. I don't know. I find it strange that Amazon France is saying a release date of October 31st, and we have seen nothing of this yet. It's strange. Maybe it'll come up in August, that August 16th thing that they were talking about. Interestingly, as well, when we talk about Amazon dates, I mean, you can't really go by it. In the US, a bunch of stuff like RC came out early. I have two things that are supposed to be here now, haven't shipped. One of them being Motormaster. However, there are at least 20 people who pre-ordered him from Amazon.ca whose shipments apparently shipped, and they would get so far, and then it became undeliverable. Now, somebody actually inquired to Amazon customer service and said, why would it be undeliverable? And what they were told is it might have become undeliverable if it became damaged in transit. It would seem highly suspicious that at least 20, if not more, that were apparently in transit all got damaged. That seems highly suspect. I figure that they had the release date incorrect. That being said, the release date for our RC on Amazon.ca is January of 2023. Will that get pushed up? I don't know. My pre-order hasn't, so we'll see. We'll take that down. I'm going to leave that and that because I want to do those last couple of pieces of news. And we'll go down here. The Legacy bike. Speaking of the Legacy bike that's used for Flame War, that's used for RC, Prime RC, that's going to be used for Road Rocket. Apparently, they wanted to do an Axer, which would have been kind of cool. I like Action Masters. I saw the grayscale with the alternate head, and I thought, why is this bike not being used for Nightbird? Like, I know that it's always a G1 RC that's been used. Well, that's a lie. G1 RC has been used. Chromia has been used, but the Chromia one is garbage. I think the bike should be used. Do a bit of remolding and make that bike into Nightbird. I would 100% get it. 100%. I love that idea. We already talked about that weird Amazon France listing. Paul Eiding is going to be at TFCon Chicago. Of course, he's voiced some Quintessons. He, of course, voiced Perceptor. What else do we have here? We saw the premium finish Optimus Prime. At first, I was like, does it look really any different than the Studio Series Optimus Prime? And you know what? It does. I think it does look better. Certainly in truck mode, it has the fade and stuff. I think it looks really, really good. I don't think I need it, but I think it looks really, really good. Okay, I'm going to do the trivia. I'm going to check in with you guys. Then we're going to do the news and the unboxing. And when I say the news, I mean the last two bigger pieces of news, that being the Hasbro Q and A and what I took away from that, and the information all together here, what I know so far about Earthspark. So let's do the trivia, and that way we can kind of get that out of the way. I just have to find the trivia. There we go. Okay, so trivia brought to us this week by our buddy Dragonfly, and here it is. What was the only G1 episode shown in North America, right, in the North American run? I can't speak for Japan, but in the North American run, what was the only G1 cartoon episode that showed Broadside in his jet mode? Not in his boat mode, in his jet mode. Was it A, The Burden Hardest to Bear? Was it B, Thief in the Night? Was it C, Five Faces of Darkness Part 2? Or was it D, Carnage in C minor? So when was Broadside shown in his plane mode? Here are the choices again. The Burden Hardest to Bear, Thief in the Night, Five Faces of Darkness Part 2, or Carnage in C minor. I'm going to check in with you guys until we get back down here. Let's see what you guys are saying. I know you've been chatting away, and I wanted to get through all of the, simple news first. Let's see. How high up do we have to go here? Where did I kind of cut off here? Let's go up to need, how much were you guys saying, man? You guys are on, for the record, you guys are on fire tonight. Fire, man. Fire tonight. Okay, I think it was around right here. Let's see. You're lucky to get the Cosmos because it's out everywhere. Yes, I already talked about that a little bit. Go down a little bit. DX9 has the perfect trailer. I already saw that. Pictures better, only a bit darker. Yeah, I saw that. As we go down here just a little bit. Use the light for reviews. Whatever you did here, leave alone, right? Got lucky, ordered Cosmos on the Walmart app. Oh, nice. A couple of minutes before 10 a.m. Lucky. Yellowing reports is pretty consistent. Pretty constant on MotorMaster. Now, there are, in the countries that have them out, they have released the batch numbers where the yellowing has occurred. So you can check your batch number to see if the yellowing has occurred. That includes, I think, Australia, the US, and the UK. I want to say. I don't know what those numbers are. I probably have a picture of it somewhere. I think the TF Addict, I think he had him on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. So you can check him out. Shout out to the TF Addict, by the way. 1024. Is that his number? I just see TFA, right? Like, I don't know the numbers, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I know you guys know who I'm talking about. Hey, Anthony, managed to get Cosmos this morning. God knows how he went so quickly in the UK. I'm not surprised he's going to go quickly because he looks very good, right? He really does. At least you're still in one piece like Grinder here. Wait, see problem with his head backwards. Grinder. Manitoba says Cosmos equals Netflix Bumblebee. I gotta say, Netflix Bumblebee here was really plentiful. He was not hard to get at all. I saw him a bunch of times. I wish I'd known that he was difficult to get. I would have helped people out, but I really didn't know. I thought he was simple. Like, I passed him over a bunch of times. Now, I had mine before he ever came out here, because here's the funny part. We didn't get any of the Netflix Wave 1. Zero. So I was like, I guess the Netflix stuff is just not going to come here. And then Wave 2 was like bonkers. And then we got Wave 3 like once. It was so weird. Never to get Wave 1 first nor last. You know what? It makes a difference seeing things up close. Okay, so we already saw that as well. So we go down here a bit. Jar of mayonnaise. Sheamus. I'm not too far off Sheamus. If you know WWE, you know Sheamus or Paige or Saraya, since she's not Paige anymore. Yeah, I'm very similar. Like, I don't wear shorts ever. I don't like shorts. Like, my legs haven't seen the sun in 25 years. You know, like, I'm very, very pale, and I burn and I blister and I peel and I turn white. The adult 90s nerd. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me to change it to the adult 90s nerd. I'm almost close to my Transformers OC. What? Stealth Thief? Need his logo and out of Netflix deep cover. Interesting. I like the deep cover. I like the Netflix deep cover. Right? We're all nerds of the movies. It's a new design in Cosmos. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. I grew up 30 years old. Tobey Maguire in high school and college. You know what? I like Tobey Maguire. I mean, we just caught up over the last few weeks on all of the Marvel stuff, and like, Spider-Man No Way Home was great. I like Tobey Maguire. I never had any problem with him. Yeah, happy birthday to Peter Cullen. Yes, indeed. Where's Origins Wheeljack? Good question, Bill. Don't hold your breath, my boy. Where's Origins Jazz, right? What's taking so long for a legacy Cybertron Jazz? I'll be seeing you in the Discord to explain to you what UTF are. Yeah. Based on the thumbnail, you got RC, didn't you? I did not get RC. No, she has not shipped. Nice guess, though. Will Velocitron be sold on other TF sites? Here's the thing, Marcus. Robot Kingdom, apparently. But besides that, I really don't know. I think it's Smith's that it's going to in the UK. We have Walmart in Canada. So that's it. That's our only option here. Will be Walmart. I can guarantee you it won't be anywhere else. Not in Canada. Each Walmart stock varies. That's true. I saw Wheeljack and another Ironhide repaint. That's outrageous. Not a Voyager, right? Still no sign of Studio Series Bayformer Onslaught. I would love a Bayverse Onslaught. I figure he'll come eventually, Jay. I would be shocked if he didn't. I mean, maybe he won't, but who knows? MP Blackout 300 Canadian, apparently. First I've heard of it, but according to Maximal 10, 300 Canadian. That's nuts. Could be possible that someone heard people like you got bought. Maybe. I mean, it could be Keldeo, but I don't think. Here's the thing. I think I've ruffled too many feathers for these people to really listen when I speak logic, because I think they're like, no, we want the else people, right? Smaller than Holler. I'm not sure why Marcus is laughing about that, but okay. I'm obviously missing something. The higher price, the harder the company fall. It's truth, man. I saw MP Blackout yesterday. He's $167.99 US, which means he should not be 300 Canadian. That's insane. Price gouging would be better than getting two figures for the same price and one worth it and the other isn't, I guess. A price range might catch my attention. Same here. Someone needs to do a better version of Arachnid. Someone's doing a better version of Arachnid. I have it on pre-order. I don't remember what I'll tell you who's doing it. Bill, man, you gotta be here for the news, buddy, when I do it. Hold on, I'm going to tell you who it is that's doing it, if I can ever sign on my phone. Oh my goodness. Bear with me here, guys. How do I get rid of this? It is. I'm sorry. I'm really pressing a lot of wrong buttons here. It is. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it. Where is it? I gotta go here. It is. Oh my goodness. APC Toys. Night Countess. There you go. APC Toys, Night Countess. 100% getting her. She's 5.7 inches in height, and she's got to be infinitely better than the old Arachnid. Saw the red cog this morning, passed because it's 31.49. I find that so funny. Like, Jay saw the red cog this morning, passed because it's 31.49. You do realize that just a regular deluxe, forget about red cog, like a regular deluxe here is 36.99. That's the cheap end to 44.99. I love that somebody is seeing a price in the US and saying, yeah, no, it's not worth it. That's where they're going. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to give you now a deluxe at $31.49 with extra bits and pieces. How long do you think it's going to be before they try to give you $31.49 without the extra bits and pieces? I love that you passed on them because of it. I love that you're holding a company to task. Good for you. Get it on clearance or sale. I don't suspect that he's even going to come here. I do not anticipate him coming to Canada at all. I don't anticipate him going anywhere except the United States. The IDW Prime looks almost like Galvatron in his alt mode. He does. You're right. I saw MGO got an upgrade kit for the to make combiner wars to IDW. Yeah, it's probably the S&D kit. We need WFC scale. We do. I should have said my price is Canadian. Yes, that's right. Going down here. Barricade is the best MPM so far. I agree, Jay. I agree with you. Barricade is the best one of those so far. 100% right. I seen an SG fan art of AOE Galvatron in Optimus Prime colors. That's weird. I don't support that at all. S&D price is nice. Chug scale Transformers might be back. They should be. Speaking of third party, anyone seen the massive Railgun Megatron? Nope. Can't say as I have. I found out Netflix deep cover was gray plastic with blue paint. As long as it's painted. Glithor, I've heard the name before. Look him up. He's bonkers. Yellowplex, I hope not. I really hope for people that support him that he does not yellow. That'll be so sad. And honestly, it might be something to break the company. Like, I don't trust them at this point at all. I do not trust them to do what's right for customers in the least. That's why I see my end in sight, right? It's to the point where they need to win my business back at this point, right? Yeah, the dude that reviewed Metroplex should not be a reviewer. He was awful. Titan Omega Supreme from everyone, maybe. I'm G1 old. I hear that. Legacy Starscream, I think he and Predacon Inferno are Target exclusives. Why would they? No, I haven't heard anything about them being Target exclusives. There's no reason for them to be Target exclusives. They're just mainline Voyagers. If they were Target exclusives, they would probably be Buzzworthy Bumblebee at this point. Anyone seen those? Although COG, I guess, but I don't see them being Target exclusives. Commander class tidal wave. That's what I would want. I know a lot of people say Titan, but here's the thing. Commander class has also gone up here. Like, that's $150. Like, I'll probably get a tidal wave as a commander class. I'm not spending $300 on tidal wave, and that's what a commander, or sorry, that's what a Titan is going to be here. Not doing it. Not remotely interested enough in the character enough to spend literally double the price on them. So do you want the sale, or do you want to put it out there and lose a sale? Simple as that. Siege is my Jetfire. MP is too much money. That's fair. I'm fine with Siege Jetfire. Go down here. I think Superion is going to be the next Legacy Combiner. Maybe, but I don't need a Superion. Combiner War Superion is hands down the best combiner they did. He's extremely successful. I don't think that the Legacy Combiner is really even a combiner. It's just Motormaster wearing clothes. It's just the only reason I'm entertaining Motormaster or Menasor is because the Motormaster is rough. I did a lot of work on him, but like the Motormaster's rough. Well, not even the limbs. The Motormaster was rough. Outside of that, I'm happy with my Combiner Wars. They don't need to redo combiners, not for 3 times the price. If somebody feels like they need a new Superion, cool. I don't know what you would do with all of the extra junk since, Silverbolt doesn't have a trailer or anything. So I don't want it all put on as pieces. No thanks. I mean, they might. I think you might be right, Jay. I'm just not interested. Furman's biggest negative for me is he always writes around a small group of characters. I don't read anything neither of these guys write. I may have a corporate man and toy designer video. Yeah. But make it as a separate video. I must admit that Hasbro is 4 for 4 with the commander classes. That's just my opinion. Here's the thing. I think I only have 3. I think that Rodimus barely was commander class. I'm not. My pre-order for Motormaster is not the new 140. Not at all. But I'm not, once it goes to like 140, 150, like I'm not paying that for commander. Get real. I'm just saying Skyfire was 119. Actually, I didn't pay that, but I know the going price was 119. So since his release, they've gone up $20, $30. Sorry. Whatever happened to Action Toys Machine Robo Series? Good question, Bill. I don't know. Superior will be 4 deluxes and a leader. That'd be interesting, Jay. Do the body as a leader? Maybe? I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. Again, I don't need it. I'm happy with the Superion we have. I want the blue Trailbreaker. I'm sure Toy Hacks will do something. Yeah, I'm sure they will too. But again, what you're going to pay for them, you shouldn't have to get anything extra. Didn't sell well, never came out. Would you think Evasion Prime be a what? An Evasion Optimus be a repaint of Earthrise? I think they could use that engineering, but he would need to be more than a repaint. He would have to be a remold. But they could probably use some of that engineering for sure. I passed on Combiner Wars, so I'm getting the Combiners, the new Combiners. That's fair, Jay. That's fair. If you passed on it, that's fair. 100%. Earthspark looks promising. Yeah, we're going to talk about that shortly. The Machine Robo series had a small following, but the release schedule was so slow. It's still apparently going. Who knew? I didn't know. I haven't heard anything in years about them. We never did get a Thunder Clash from the Siege Ultra Magnus mold. We didn't, nor were we ever supposed to. It was never a thing that was supposed to happen. I mean, we should have a Thunder Clash, but he's never been talked about. I didn't care for Combiner Wars Devastator. Went with oversized Jin Bao Devastator. That's fair if you want to do that. Why keep it in the box? Long time caller, first time watcher. What's your thoughts on Hasbro? Garbage company that needs a change on a lot of things to save themselves. Then I upgraded the knees and the head. I have the Jin Bao Devastator. The Jin Bao Devastator is good. The Combiner Wars just looks odd. I gotta say, of all the Devastators out there, the Combiner Wars, more specifically the Takara one, is the only one that actually looks like the animation to me. Like everything else is like, it's obviously Devastator, but it's all stylized to me. Even the fantastic Toy World Constructor is Studio Ox, right? It's not what I saw on the screen on the cartoon as a kid. That's why I do like the Combiner Wars one, because it looks like what I saw on the screen. And that makes me happy. Anybody know what rumored future Titans there are? None yet, really. I mean, they've said that they could do Unicron Trilogy stuff for the next few years. Like they mentioned Unicron Trilogy Menasauron. They mentioned, I don't know the Unicron Trilogy characters, but they did mention a whole bunch of them. I think it depends on how this one goes. They're saying that Titan will continue, but I think a lot of it will depend on how this Metroplex goes. Voyager, I want a Voyager Ratchet. They should. I've heard that they will do a Voyager Ratchet from the Ironhide, but that was a very loose rumor. Let's see. I found it interesting that the 86 Ironhide, I saw something of it being a retool of a or new mold. I have no idea. I know nothing about it other than the listing is up on Amazon France. I've heard nothing about it. Very hush hush. Never got an Omega Sentinel repaint from Titan class Omega Supreme. I don't know if it would sell. Here's the thing. For the price, you got to look at the price. How many people are going to go out and get an Omega Sentinel at the price of a Titan? You get Omega Supreme because you remember them. How many people really remember an Omega Sentinel? I mean, it's a great mold. I get why you would do that, and maybe it'll happen in the future. I just don't know if it's the same thing with Metro Titan. I don't know if it's a prominent enough character to warrant doing it. I don't know if enough people would recognize it, right? Like for Metro Titan, if you don't know the comics, basically, you're not going to have any connection to him. You're not going to care. You're going to say, bad guy Metroplex. Yeah, okay. If it wasn't in a cartoon, I think that it's a tough sell. I would venture to say that the Arc was a very tough sell, and it underperformed a lot of the other Titans. Just not because it's terrible or anything, just because it's not as prominent. The big saving grace there was that it was the Arc, and people remember the Arc, right? I don't know. Will we get a Sentinel one day? Maybe. I just don't know if it's prominent enough, right? Passing on Legacy Menasor, but might look at a third party or go KO. Absolutely. Grandiose. What I find interesting in the new core class ratcheted mold. What I find interesting is the new core class. Oh, ratchet mold. Beats the Earthrise exclusive. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry. Not at all. I think that the new core class ratchet looks terrible. Looks awful. Awful. I hate everything about it. I don't even know why they're doing it. I'm sorry. I can't agree with that at all. Oh my goodness. No, I can't agree with that. The head would have a massive hole in the side of the head. It would. For Ironhide, you mean? We get our Ironhide Englishman. I thought you got RC in the thumbnail. That was a good guess. RC was a good guess. I went to DCS Army Drone. They were really plentiful here too. They were here for a long time. Hopefully they'll repaint the core class Ratchet in the yellow taxi cab colors. Why a taxi cab? They go down here. This has gone on a long time, and you guys are man. You guys are on fire tonight. The thing that really standing out on the commander is Mixmaster is backwards. Yes, Mixmaster is backwards, but Mixmaster was updated to a modern, heavy industrial cement mixer. That's why it's not that it's backwards. If you look up like modern industrial cement mixers, that's what you're going to see, right? It's not just your usual construction vehicle. It's like Long Haul. Long Haul is not just a dump truck that you see. He's like a massive industrial dump truck. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the dump trucks that they use, for example, in the oil patches in Alberta, Canada. Look up those. They're gigantic. They're enormous. And that's the vehicles that they were using for Devastator, which is why he's big. It is not what you see running the mill at a normal construction site or going down the road. These are gigantic. That's what they were going for. Was that the right call? I don't think so. I don't think he should have been a Titan. But it's the call they made. And if you're going with all of these gigantic vehicles, when you got to Mixmaster, to stick with the gigantic nature of these that are used on heavy industrial sites, you needed to stay accurate to it, which is that cement mixer. But I get what you're saying. Backwards Mixmaster is a deal breaker for me. Just no. That was the deal breaker for me too. It's the only thing that I had a problem with it. But I mean, to each their own, right? Shatterglass Media use Metro Titan as a Shatterglass Metroplex. They do. But again, Shatterglass Media isn't even prominent enough that they're putting Shatterglass stuff out on all mainline shelves. Here, we had Megatron and Starscream come to GameStop. In the US, it's all Pulse exclusive. They don't believe in it enough to put it out on the shelves. So don't expect that they would have that same faith in something like Metro Titan, right? Like, guys, you got to think business-wise. You got to forget about being a fan. You got to think what would make sense business-wise. How are you going to make profit? Because that's the only thing they're thinking about. Dragon Megatron looks okay from what I've seen. I like the Dragon Megatron. I wonder if we'll ever have another shot at Earthrise Prowl. I think you'll have another Prowl. I don't think it'll be Earthrise Prowl. By the way, hi, Trent. And there is a Transformers novel that explains the story of a Transformers novel. How many people know this, Keldeo? You're referencing this little niche, like fiction. It's great that it's there, but it's only going to be hardcore fans. Hasbro will look at, will moms and dads go out and buy this? Will the average consumer, will the average collector go out and buy this? They don't care that you're a hardcore collector that knows every piece of fiction or that I am. They don't care. They're looking at how do we reach the masses. And guess what? One novel is not going to do it. I get it, but like until you can say Omega Sentinel would be better if they referenced the TV show. And I get it. He was on they were on there, but they're not prominent. They're not prominent. I get the Omega Sentinel. I get the background stuff, but guys, you got to think about prominence. You got to think business. I'm just saying, right? Thing is, I thought they were going for the G1 look. Well, they're going for a stylized G1 look. And I honestly, Sovereign, I think they nailed the G1 look. He looks like I saw on the screen more than any other Devastator I've ever seen. Totally, I would give a Prowl to law enforcement. I could see a retool of Kingdom Arc as G.I. Joe crossover Defiant. Maybe. Could be. No, not yet. We didn't get an answer to trivia. I'm still working my way down there. I need a Transformers Classified book years ago. See, I read a Transformers Classified book years ago, and I think it was a separate continuity. About 2 years ago, I think. And that 2-pack featured Ironhide on pre-order from Amazon. Mine got canceled. See, I was lucky mine didn't get canceled. Okay, so looking at the answers, I see a lot of B's, a lot of C's, a couple of D's there. The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is in fact D, Carnage in C minor. I can't believe I'm here this long. And we still have some news to do. I was afraid of that. I'm glad that my wife is patient and talking to her sister. Okay, let's do Earthspark. Earthspark, man, I'm so glad that SDCC and stuff is done because it's too much news, far too much news. Earthspark. Whew. Okay, so a whole bunch of stuff came up. First things first, we saw that there are a number of lines. There is the spin changer Bumblebee. That's going to be about $30. I think that comes with Mo. I think there's an Optimus Prime spin changer that comes with Robbie. There will be in the deluxe line, which is pretty much like the Cyberverse deluxes, if you know those. Twitch, who I think looks really good. Definitely a nice bit of hollowness there, though. Like you look at the thigh and whatnot. And it's definitely a small mold. Twitch, Bumblebee, and Megatron. I think Megatron as a plane again is really cool. I think his head sculpt, though weird, looks very sinister. And I love his fusion cannon. I think 3 solid deluxes. They're apparently going to be 20 US, a little bit cheaper. I like that. It looks like you have probably hollowed a couple of things, simplified the paint apps a little bit, but it looks like 20 US for those. I like it. I like it. Then we, and they'll also be part of a build-a-figure for Mandroid, which is basically the man with the robotic arm, right? Keldeo and I were talking. He was like, they missed an opportunity there with him being Dr. Arkeville. I would hate that. I know we all know who Dr. Arkeville is. And this new character looks nothing like him at all. Let Dr. Arkeville keep his name. Let Mandroid be his own character and his own thing. What else do we have here? Warrior class, which are a little bit simplified. We have Optimus there, Elita 1, and Skywarp. They're calling it Skywarp. It looks like the Shattered Glass Skywarp, if anything. It doesn't look like Skywarp. And it's that garbage Warrior Starscream mold with the trash wings and the no knees. I think the Skywarp is the utter failure there. The Elita looks okay. The Optimus looks okay. One steps, they're going to be $10. By the way, the Warriors are going to be 15 US. The one steps are going to be $10. And we've seen B, Optimus, and Wheeljack. Hardly a lick of paint. I mean, the one steps are garbage. Stop making them. Then we get into the details and the notes. Here's the details that I know so far. Optimus Prime basically wants Bumblebee to train new bots that have been born on Earth. Bumblebee is a mentor to the Earthborn Terrans. What else do we have here? Denny Pooty wants to be a cool babysitter, whatever that means. Twitch is basically known as being like a real goody, like a straight A type of student, like a real good kid, basically. And transforms into a drone. If you're wondering what Twitch's alt mode is going to be, apparently it's going to be a drone. I can get behind that. I mean, look at Prime Soundwave. He was a drone, right? What else do we have here for details? Optimus Prime's alt mode looks more like the Transformers Prime Optimus Prime than it does anything else. Thrasher is a cafe racer. I don't know what a cafe racer is. Not a clue, but apparently that's going to be what Thrasher turns into. The town that they're in, that the I guess the family, right? The family that Mo and Robbie are part of, Malto, I think is their last name. They moved from Philadelphia to the town of, I like this as just a little nod, Witwicky, the town of Witwicky. Apparently also in this story, the war is over. It's done and finished. So what will that exactly mean? How will Megatron and Skywarp and whatnot play into it? I don't know. Then there was the trailer and some videos. I have to give Keldeo big credit here because he kind of shared some of the videos and stuff with me. The trailer and stuff that was put up, not available in my country. So good move. Didn't see it. I have not seen the official trailer at all. I've seen videos that people have done where they've incorporated the official trailer, which has been nice. And a little bit of a sneak peek of maybe I would say the first episode. So here was what I have found. Bombshell appears. I like that. And it looks like the Bombshell we know and love. Wheeljack appears. I like that. There's going to be 26 episodes. I've heard that they are going to be 22 minutes each. Nice. This seems a little darker, little bit grittier, but not too much. I feel like it's a nice balance between Cyberverse and Prime, right? Cyberverse was a little more kiddified, people said. Prime was a little dark and mature. I feel like this is kind of in the middle ground of those. We'll see how it goes on. The Meg's plane mode is cool. So that's kind of everything I have about Earthspark already. I'm excited for the show. That being said, like, I don't think we have Paramount Plus and stuff here. Usually stuff that comes on Paramount Plus in the US comes on CTV Space here. I don't see them putting on a Transformers cartoon, so I'm hoping it'll go to Teletoon here in Canada. But who knows for sure? Not I. Then we get to the last. Can I get rid of this sheet? I can get rid of that sheet. Then we get to the last of the I can get rid of this sheet too. News, and that brings us to the Hasbro Q and A and what I took from that. I got Sludge, haven't opened it yet. Fell down the stairs when it was delivered. So in so much pain. Oops. Listen, Anthony, I don't know if you were here when I said it, but I'm after falling and hurting both my toes. Walking hurts. I feel you, buddy. I'm right there with you. I absolutely feel you. Need Sludge, but my only concern is he has rubber parts. What? I need Sludge, but my only concern is he has rubber parts, and the rubber has been known to melt. What rubber parts does he have? That's the first I'm hearing of rubber parts on Sludge. Velocitron pre-orders from Hasbro Pulse is on the way, but just the Deluxe Cosmos and Clampdown. Never noticed any rubber parts on my copies. Red Cog's weapon assortment is nice. I'm sure it is. I would love to have Red Cog for that. It's a great mold, great thing. I don't anticipate it coming to Canada. Based on animated episode 2 problem. What? Based on animated episode 2 problem I have is Elita will be too big and I don't have interest for Legacy and Netflix and I need Cybertron and alt modes. Oh, that's a lot you're saying there. Is the Bumblebee RC that it's the Bumblebee RC that I don't like. That's fair. Bumblebee movie RC is the best RC so far. It probably is. I mean, I don't have it, but I can get behind what Jay is saying there. I'm on really strong painkillers, and I got 4 more arriving on Saturday. Yeah, you need that, man. As we go down here a little bit. I know I'm skipping stuff, guys. I apologize, but we've been on here way too long. If GotBot gets his, you should have him check that out. I don't know what I should check out. See if his uses rubber chest wings. Oh, okay. See, Jetfire is almost a masterpiece, in my opinion. I agree with you, Dragonfly. See, Jetfire is pretty stellar. I purchased the Lambo Boys in MP, and I realized I don't want to go that way. Sold them right away. I don't, like, I've handled some MP stuff. I've reviewed it, but, like, I don't want to be 20 or 25 minutes and having to move little tiny itty-bitty parts all the time. I find it obnoxious. I don't find it genius. I don't find it interesting. I find it obnoxious. That's like the third-party masterpiece stuff. Like, I love seeing both modes, and then I'll look at somebody doing the transformation. I'm like, I can't even watch this. I can't watch. It's too much. It's too. You're taking the fun out of it because you've over-engineered it. Like, that's just my take on it. I know, to each their own. I'm not saying don't collect MP or MP scaled if that's your thing. It's just I'm explaining why it's not my thing, right? You hope everything goes well, and I didn't mean 4 sludges. I meant different figures. I've been trying so hard to get in my collection. I don't try hard anymore for any of it. I don't want any of it bad enough. If it comes my way, cool. But I can't with the era of scarcity economics where they're deliberately doing smaller runs just so there's competition over it. I can't. I have a job and a family and a life, and I do content for you guys. I can't be running around all day every day to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 stores. I can't do it. Plus gas, man. And I don't like paying shipping. And here in Canada, I can't think of anywhere where you get free shipping. They jump Motormaster like $17 here. That's rough. Dude, Sovereign, you gotta stop fixating on Mixmaster. He's fine. He's fine. In fact, if you're not fine with it, there were a number of upgrade kits for it. Number. But that being said, if you like the what do you call it? The Jin Bao one, then like stick with it, right? I wonder if we'll ever have another shot at Earthspark. Probably, yeah, I went up too high there. Yeah, the Jin Bao. MPs aren't fun to transform. Hey, Teen Toys. Okay, whew, I can't believe how long I've been on here. This is like the longest show ever. The Hasbro Q and A. Let's fly through this so I can do the unboxing. Get out of here. Holy Moses. So they're looking to expand Studio Series. I don't agree with that move, but hey, do what you want to do. Somebody asked them, will we see High Moon games stuff in Studio Series? And they said, very possible. I think that now I think that the WFC Barricade and the WFC Bumblebee will be from the High Moon games. I think that is a confirmation that it will be. They're saying possible. We know those listings exist. I think it's going to happen now. They also asked, will we see off-screen characters that weren't in the movies but came out in the movie lines? They said also possible with that. They said, could we see more accurate Transformers Prime characters in Studio Series? They said, yes, that's a possibility as well. Now, some people think when they say possibility, that means no. I think it means we're going to discuss it. We're going to see if it's a good idea and see if it fits in business-wise. I don't like what they've done in Legacy with the Transformers Prime characters at all. I think trying to G1ify them is an utter failure. I don't like it. So if you want to do something more accurate in Studio Series, that might be more up my personal alley. Let's see what else they got here. I'm kind of going down through the answers as I had them and stuff, right? They asked, will there be any limits in Legacy as to what parts could be included? Because we've got Cyberverse and Prime and Unicron Trilogy and RID 2001 and RID 2015. And they said, everything is open. Everything could potentially appear in Legacy. I said when Legacy started, look, they're going to throw everything at the wall and they're going to see what sticks, what sells best. And that's where the future is going to go. That's why I tell people that are Unicron Trilogy fans, if you're a Unicron Trilogy fan, dude, you got to buy the Unicron Trilogy stuff. Otherwise, don't expect them to go in that direction. They're going to go where the money takes them. It's as simple as that. Animated. Now, Caldeo and I were talking about it, and I initially thought that they said that redoing animated stuff is a possibility. No, they said apparently yes, with an exclamation mark. Evan wants to do it, and Evan said that he said yes. He said, but we'll have to like plan it out better. We have to kind of take the feedback and see where it goes, because we want to find a better balance between the G1ified aesthetic and the animated aesthetic. We've heard the feedback about the Transformers Prime stuff. Feel like we're a little off the mark there with meshing the two. So for animated to appear and work, we have to honor that aesthetic while also G1ifying it to stick with the Legacy aesthetic. Can they pull it off? I don't know. I feel like that was a premature yes, but we'll see. What he did confirm is some people thought that you didn't have access to like the names and the designs and stuff for animated. They have access to it all. They own the copyrights and the trademarks and all of that stuff. They have access to it all, unlike GoBots. Let's see. They have no knowledge of any new games. Titans are going to continue, which we already talked about. Tidal Wave was asked about. They said, we know. Yeah, we know. I hope it's a commander. I don't think it would work as a Titan personally. Mark pushed for the Instagram initiative where they share like designer stuff. I think it's been a great initiative. I think we've learned a lot of information about it. I hope that continues. Let's see. They asked about redoing some Studio Series characters that have already been done. I mean, I guess you could, but why would you do that when you have so many that you haven't done yet? So many. I mean, I guess you could. And they said, yeah, we could redo them. I just don't know why you would. Like, why would you do another Ratchet from the 07 movie? Why would you do another, I don't know, like Starscream from the Bumblebee movie? Why? Makes no sense. There's so many you haven't done yet. So we'll see. Cyber Planet keys were asked about. They said that could probably be in a weapons pack, much like the blast effects were, much like Red Cog, much like the Centurion drone pack. to me, like, that stinks. None of them came to Canada. Like, that's awful. I don't want them to come out that way. Now, I don't want them at all because I don't care. But like for fans who do care, I think that's an awful way to do them. I think it's honestly, I think it's terrible. I really, really do. But I mean, what do I know, right? They were asked about mini cons. They said, as we move, assuming we move deeper into Armada, we're going to have to revisit mini cons then. So they're not jumping to it yet. Cosmos already talked about how Pulse had what they had, 15%, 85% is going to Walmart. That's about, could we get a G1ified Dinobot Scorn? And Evan said, if that was done, they would like to see it somehow incorporated into Studio Series, because it would go with the rest of the Dinobots in Studio Series. So like, I'd be down for that. Because I said, when I got the original Scorn, the Deluxe, if you go back and look at that review a long time ago, I said then, you know what? Scorn's head is G1. That's a G1 head. All you got to do is make the body look a little more sleeker, slender, a little more G1, and I think you got it. And I would be in for it. Leave the faceplate, leave the visor, do all that. Leave that like glorious kind of bucket head and just sleek out his body. I would totally be down for that, 100%. Next HasLab Transformers offering is being worked on, apparently. They did not say what it was, though Shattered Glass in HasLab was asked about. And they said, look, we would have to test the Titan first, like Omega, right, which we talked about earlier, or like a Metro Titan. I don't think they have that much faith in Shattered Glass. And honestly, not enough people know the fiction, right? People would get the idea, but people will say, bad guy Optimus Prime. No, he's a good guy. Good guy Megatron. No way, because they don't know the fiction. Not enough people know. Even IDW doesn't know it. Like, they're not even using the right terms. Like, they were talking about sparks, not embers. As somebody who likes Shattered Glass, I found that distasteful. But, I mean, you know, I guess we'll see. A Wing Saber was asked about, and they said, look, we could do a Wing Saber, and you could probably combine on the back of the Siege Cybertron Optimus Prime. That would be interesting to see. Very interesting to see. Will Power Links be revisited? Evan says he wants to. That's not a confirmation that it'll be revisited. It's just saying Evan wants to. They were asked, what would you like to do in the Studio Series 86 line? To my surprise, they said that they would like to do 86 Optimus Prime. I feel like that would be some sort of a reworked Earthrise, but who knows? Again, it's not saying they are doing it, it's saying what they would like to do. Mark and Evan talk about doing the 13 primes. I think is long overdue. I've amassed an unofficial version of the 13. I would be very interested to see what they would come up with. Like they said, a Fallen would be a tank, right? They were asked, could we get an Optimus Prime in HasLab? And they like the Armada Optimus Prime in HasLab. And they said, well, it's an Optimus Prime. So hypothetically, it's not going to be in HasLab. It's a Takara design. They said it could be used, or maybe a new version could be done for the 20th anniversary of Armada. I think that the Armada Optimus Prime that's gone under the radar for so long is up and coming in the 20th anniversary. They would like to do a weapons pack where Cheetor gets his gut gun finally. Again, if you're going to do these packs, you got to make them easier to get. You got to make them easier to get. Another thing that surprised me, the information that I was originally told is that Legacy was for 1 year, not a trilogy. It is just going to be a 1 year thing, and then we're going to move to the next trilogy. Apparently that's changed, and Legacy is now a 3-year trilogy, but that's as far as the line goes. Somebody followed that up and said, well, is there a fiction to go with it? And they said, nope, there isn't. And somebody said, well, what about like a box fiction where the boxes go together? I mean, I guess, but again, that's hardly a fiction. A show apparently was presented to Netflix. Netflix turned it down. So that could tell you how bad must it have been, right? So it apparently is a trilogy without any fiction. Those never tend to do as well. We'll see. I think that they are trying to figure out their future for Transformers at this point. I think that they've run out of ideas and they're trying to figure out what to do next. So they're throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. I honestly believe that, but we'll see. Are you going to do Beast Machines? They'd like to at least do the Viacons. I'd get behind that. I like the Tankor, but I would gladly use it as a tank drone for like a proper Voyager Tankor, you know, and give me the other two. Give me a Thrust. Give me a Jetfire. Why am I forgetting his name? Oh, somebody tell me his name. You know who I'm talking about. It's been a while. But yeah, I would get the Viacons for sure. Maybe a couple as like drones, to be honest with you. Let's see. If Megatron was done in SS86, what alt mode would he have? Probably a tank. I'm not shocked. I think most people would expect that now. Would most like an animated Ratchet? Sorry, what would they like to see most in Legacy? What? Oh, what animated character would they like to see most in Legacy? Evan said Ratchet. Ratchet needs to be done, and they would like to see a version of animated Ratchet in Legacy. There's leaks in Voyagers. Leaders of Voyagers for Earth. Spark, we already talked about that. And I think we got all that. Oh, and they said that Selects is going to continue some of the things that they mentioned in a HasLab Lite. Like somebody asked about a HasLab Lite for like Core and Voyager and stuff. They said, well, that would come out in Selects, not HasLab, right? I don't know why everybody wants HasLab to continue. Why do you want to crowdfund a multi-billion-dollar company? That's insane to me. Like, get your priorities straight, people. And I like this. They said, what obscure characters would you like to see? And they said, Velocity, Javelin, Camions, and Mistress of Flame. And I'm not going to lie. I literally have no idea what or who either one of those are. Not at all, even a little bit. No, nothing at all about them in the least. Now for the unboxing, and let's get out of here. I can't believe how long this show has been. There was so much to go through. Plus, we were a while kind of setting things up with the new thing. Okay, so the first things that I got is one of these. One of these. You guys know these. They were at fast food, McDonald's, maybe many years ago. Part of Cyril's collection, a spare that he had in his collection. And if you're living in Canada, at least, you'll remember one of these. Do you remember these? There was a set of about 8, and they were sold at Esso gas stations. In the States, I think Esso is Exxon. I don't know who remembers these, but like they sparked, and there was like 8 of them. And he gave me one of these. Again, he has the whole set there. And that was a spare. While I'm there, and you'll hear me in episode 1000 talk about it, I talked about how I lost my G.I. Joe Frag Viper. So he gave me his Frag Viper. I have since replaced, and when I lost him, I lost Cobra Commander, who I've replaced. I lost Destro, who I've replaced. And on the Joe side, I lost Flint and Duke and General Hawk. All of them I've replaced. The only one I was never able to really get around to replacing was the Frag Viper. So I'm really glad to have him. Really, really glad to have him. And I couldn't believe this. He had a spare of this GotBot Scooter. I had Coptor and Psykill. And on the Guardian side, I had Turbo and Leader 1. And I had ever so many others. But I never, ever saw Crasher. So I never got Crasher. And I never, ever saw Scooter. I knew one guy who had him, and I held Scooter. I played with Scooter exactly once. So I was really stoked to get this. So a couple of like old throwbacks there, a GotBot, a G.I. Joe, a couple of like fast food things, but here's the pièce de résistance for this week. And it is, in fact, Yeehaw Sludge. And I'm going to tell you now, mine does not have any rubber pieces on him. Tomorrow will be the review for this guy. Did I get a dud or did I get a good copy? Well, I was terrified, and tomorrow we're going to find out. We've been here forever. My wife has been more than patient. I need to get out of here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a channel member. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Stick around, have some fun with us. And guys, Most especially, don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.